Okay, I'm back. This is part 2. Maybe I'll figure out how to put videos together. Right now, all I know is how to make different videos on YouTube. Anyways, so no one was home in where we found this cat, and we asked a neighbor that drove up if he knew anything about this cat, and he said no. So, and this cat was clearly not feral because it came right up to us. It hobbled over to us because it could barely walk, and it really wanted to just be pet, and it was so affectionate with us. So I immediately thought either this is a stray or this is a really bad abuse situation. Abuse in terms of omission of I don't know how they say it, neglect. I think it's omission of proper animal care. That's not the word, but anyways, so when I went home, because I couldn't take the cat with me, because one, for safety reasons, and it looked like the cat was going to be staying there and staying put, and the day was still warm enough that I wasn't too concerned. This poor cat had mats all over its body and had unhealthy skin because these mats, the cat looked like a ginormous, really old dreadlock. Like, not to be offensive in any way here, but you know, when you see a homeless person who can't have access to grooming, and this was a very old cat that looked like it did not have access to grooming or being groomed by a person for like years. This wasn't like, you know, just a few mats here and there. The whole body, like you've seen those really terrible situations on the dodo or other animal welfare initiatives. So I called a few veterinary offices in different counties here in Portland, Oregon. For anyone who needs reference of how to do this, I'm going to make a more detailed video about how to go through this process. I'm still figuring it out myself. It's a little bit not the most straightforward process, at least with me doing simple Google searches and talking to veterinary offices of what to do, then calling animal the animal control unit. Here it's the Multnomah County Animal what is it called? Animal Welfare? No, Multnomah County Animal Services, and they're located all the way out in Troutdale, Oregon, and they only do Multnomah County animals. Now, if it's a stray, you can say you found the cat in Multnomah County, and then they will take care of it. They do not pick up animals unless it's a very severe, intense emergency situation, I believe is what they told me. And I think that's with cats that are not strays, actually. I think cats that are strays, and I don't know anything about the dogs because I didn't ask about that, but for cats, they don't pick up strays. They also gave me another resource called Meow Village, which is in Sheridan, Oregon. Oh, no, Aurora, Oregon. And they deal with Clackamas County. And so I went to their website, and it looks like they only do feral cats. But I'm gonna still give them a call. Actually, I think I did give them a call, and I went to a message machine. So there's that. And Multnomah County Animal Services, when I thought this was a stray, would at least be able to take this cat in, and they don't euthanize cats or dogs. Or they say cats. I think they don't do dogs either, though. They don't euthanize animals just for space. They only will euthanize when an animal is, you know, terminally ill and its quality of life is not serving the animal's best interest anymore. So they take care of the veterinary costs and everything. The only reason why people don't choose it is because maybe they don't want the animal to have to live in shelter life, either indefinitely or even for a period of time if it's temporary. They recommended, if I didn't want that route, to consider fostering the cat, but then I would have to actively for 6 months try to find the home for the cat. Which I wasn't opposed to. Unfortunately, I can't keep the cat here because my own cat would be aggressive to this cat. My cat is very old and very territorial, so that wouldn't be a good situation for either of them. But I was gonna look for fosters if they were gonna euthanize the cat, but they're not. So that would be the best situation, especially because I cannot afford all the veterinary costs that will need to go into this poor cat. So anyways, I went later with a friend of mine, all prepared with a crate and food and a towel to wrap the cat in, and protective gear for myself in case the cat were to scratch or bite me, because that could be very serious. Don't ever pick up a random stranger cat, or even a cat you know, because if you get scratched or bitten, that could lead to very serious health issues, and you could die even, or be seriously hospitalized on vitals. I know people who have almost lost their arm from a cat bite within the same day, and luckily it got treated. It's not a thing to take lightly. You need to be well prepared. And go with somebody, because especially if it's at a house or if you get hurt, there's someone else there to be a witness and to be a backup support. So I went with my friend, and I saw that now someone was home at this place and the cat was still there. You know, the cat had a little setup on the stoop. There was a blanket there, just a blanket for the cat to be on. It looked like it was kind of mushed up, but it was still only a blanket on the cement of the stoop. And that's not considered adequate shelter, just so you know, if you're worried about, is this technically a neglect situation or not. I mean, at the minimum, that is a neglect situation. There was a little bit of water in a water bowl nearby, and there was a food bowl that was very dirty that was empty. And you don't know if the cat's eating it or not because it's outside this food bowl. Anything could be eating it. And so I went, knocked on the door again because someone was home, and someone answered. And they told me that that was their cat. They've had this cat for 15 years. So this was an old cat. And I said, oh, well, the cat didn't have a collar, and, you know, it looks like it's struggling. So this is what I said to the person. I said, I really honestly thought this was a stray cat, and I was prepared to take it to the shelter, or take it to the Multnomah County Animal Services. But I'm glad to know it has an owner, and I really wanted to tell this guy, or this person, you know, can I please take this cat to go be taken care of, to get its mats removed? Why haven't you done this? But that, you know, I never remember how the saying is, but you catch more bees with honey or something, even though the bees make the honey. You need to be tactful and smart in these situations. You need to try and work with the person, you know, so that you can try and get something accomplished, instead of maybe put the cat into more danger, possibly, or yourself in danger too. But you want to give the person the benefit of the doubt, maybe. I mean, you do. Give them a chance to explain themselves. So I asked them, oh, you know, has the veterinarian not been willing to groom, or did your veterinarian not let you know that they can groom your cat for you and take care of it? And he said, well, you know, we've tried to cut back on a few of the mats, but, you know, honestly, it's just this cat is so old, and because he doesn't groom, or she doesn't groom herself anymore. It is that's why she looks like this. It's just, that's what happens when they don't groom themselves. And I'm like, you're not answering my question. I didn't say that, but I knew that this person, it was going to be a situation where this is neglect. I don't think that it was some sort of willing neglect, but it was, it's neglect nevertheless, whatever reason. And this cat is suffering. That's the point here. And then they went on to say, well, you know, it's hard because my kids grew up, or I have kids, and so, you know, for a moment I thought, okay, maybe he has infants, and you know, life got a little bit rough, and he kind of neglected the animal for a moment. And sometimes that can happen when people have a newborn child, and if you have newborn children, you know, life kind of gets a little out of hand. But this cat looked like it's been neglected for years. I soon find out that this person's children are actually preteens. And so what he was meaning to say is his cat has grown up, or these children have grown up with the cat, and so he's been trying to avoid having to euthanize the cat, because he can see that its quality of life is not good, but he doesn't want to break his children's heart. And I just, at that point I was done. But I still made sure to leave in a polite way, and not leave any of my contact information. Make sure you don't do that, because you can be endangering yourself. You don't know what this other person may or may not do. You know, in terms of, you know, coming for you. But what you can do is at that point, not go vigilante. I so badly wanted to go vigilante because I knew this cat was going to be left out all night. Because the guy mentioned to me too that the cat is not housebroken, and that's why it's outside all the time. And here in Portland and in Milwaukee area, there are lots of coyotes out and raccoons all the time. We are very nature-filled here, cities. And on top of it, even if we didn't, it's very cold here at night. And this cat is very old and sickly, and this should not be the situation. It doesn't even have an appropriate shelter to be outside. And this cat should have been surrendered to someone else a long time ago. But I could see that this is not what was going through this person's head. So I made sure to do some more research of what to do this morning. And unfortunately, Animal Services was closed by the time I got back home, so I couldn't call them. I had considered calling the police, but I want to try as best as possible to not... I know that this person has brought this upon themselves, whether it's due to ignorance or ill will, but I did not want to call 911 yet. Technically, you can call the police for animal abuse and neglect, and that may be the next thing I do if getting a hold of Animal Services again today when they open. They open at 11. They're open from 11 to 7, I believe, every weekday. I don't know about the weekends. I'm going to call them first. I'm also going to call, again, the Oregon Humane Society, because they also have animal control officers that will come out. Again, though, the person may or may not have to deal with getting a misdemeanor or a felony for this. I hope for their sake that they don't, and that they learn from the situation. And I also hope that the cat gets surrendered, so that it can be adequately taken care of. I wish I could have just taken it. I would have taken it in a heartbeat, and try to groom it myself, but that's just not the smartest thing to do. And if I would have tried to intervene any further, I could have put the cat in more harm's way. The guy might have done something to the cat because he knew that he might get in trouble. So the things you can do, I'll do at the end of this video, and then I'm also going to post another video that is just the exact details of what to do from what I've learned in my experience and what I have learned talking to the all these different resources. But what you can do is get the address of the where the home is. Remember, get the time and the day of when you found the situation. If you can get any names, get the name of the person and the animal. That will help with trying to, if animal control needs to get the cat, usually having a name is helpful to try to get the cat to you with as little stress as possible to the cat or the animal. Especially if you find a stray and you're the one who might have to get the animal. I mean, you don't know the name. But, having food also available. Make sure you have protective gear, gloves on, like rubber gloves that are thick enough that if you get a bite or a scratch, it does not puncture. And thick clothing, like thick denim. I was wearing a denim jacket that had like a faux Sherpa lining in it, and also wearing thick pants because they're going to get you there too. Denim with some liner underneath, some leggings underneath or something, and a thick towel if you're the one who has to get the cat, to wrap the cat up, to put it, if you to get it into a box, and put a whole bunch of catnip in that box, or honeysuckle too, because many cats actually don't respond to catnip at all. They're immune to it, but honeysuckle is an alternative that works. And really good, high reward smelling food. I was going to bring my cat's kibble that I have that is coated in raw food, so that smells very strong. You could also bring, meat. And you can bring canned food, or they sell at the pet store. They have these tubes of paste that are for animals that do not want to eat, but it has calories, so it has a very strong smell, so it gets cats who don't want to eat to at least lick that. Then if you're able to get the cat into a box, if you have to do this yourself, cover the box afterwards so the cat, it minimizes the stress immensely. Don't try to administer any sedative. Don't, please, disclaimer, never try and take any medical things into your own hands, because you can endanger the cat and then you can also endanger yourself. Just try and make the cat as comfortable as possible. And usually I believe that's what animal control will try and do too. And they're also medically trained, so I'm sure they can handle anything that they see that's immediate, like if there is a laceration or open wound, etc., etc. I'll keep you all updated on what happens. If you ever encounter such a thing, I understand the feeling of that. It can feel really tricky and like you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Having to encounter something like that, whether it is a stray or it's an animal that is not a stray. And this is what's making it trickier, because I want to take this into my own hands. But there's a system, and the system is in place to take care of the cat. Always remember that. It's to take care of the cat. The system is not to take care of all the jurisdictions, which is where my mind first went to. Oh, the system, why? Because I'm the one who will get in trouble if I try and be vigilante. But no. That's ego talking. And it's also your heart talking, because you feel bad for this animal. You want action now. And again, yes, I could have called 911. But this man does have children. And if this cat has been out every single night like this, I was just hoping and praying to the universe, please let this be one more good night. I live really nearby, and I'm going to go check soon again to see if this cat's okay. But I also don't want to endanger my son and myself. If someone sees us coming in the neighborhood again and they know about us and they want to protect their neighbor, or if that person sees us. So, you know, remember the big picture. And, you know, this animal called out to me, and I had no idea until we got there, because my son and I were just simply going to get some French fries at our local burger joint, and we were walking by, and we always walk one way to get there and one way back, and I just, walking there, I felt compelled, like, I really want to walk down the street. We've never been down this. I'm like, no, we're going to go get the fries. When we come back, we can do it. We come back. I'm like, you know, Davey, let's go down this street. We never go down this street. And so we went down, and then this cat comes up to us, and it just was hobbling to us. And I'm like, and this cat looked really messed up. I'm like, oh my God, ooh. This cat looked like it had mange almost, but not, because its hair was still stuck and embedded onto it. The clumps of hair, literally clumps like this big on the cat or bigger. And oh my God, but the face was like, that's the only part where there was a little bit of hair left, except for some chunk here, and then out of its ears, big pieces of like black, which maybe were earwax or maybe other caca, stuck in the ears, or coming out of the ears. And it just wanted to be pet the whole time. It was so sweet, and it meowed at us when we said, do you want us to take you? And then it was like, meow. It looked into my son's eyes first when he said, do you want us to take you? And then I said it and the cat meowed at me. And I said, okay, little cat, we're going to be right back for you. I need to go get stuff to get you, okay? And I need to figure out what to do. We will be back, I promise. And the cat looked at me. And it looked like the cat was heartbroken that we were leaving. And if you talk to animals, they do listen. And if you're aware of what third eye is, cats listen through here as well. You don't have to speak to them out loud, but if it helps you, you can. But if you imagine what you're going to do for the cat, they see that. If they imagine you saving them and protecting them, they will see that. But when we left, the cat just kept looking at us, and I just, and then it rolled around in the sun for a moment and went back to its stoop. And when we came back later, there it was waiting on its stoop and walked right up to us again. And when I had to leave again, the cat just looked at me like, come on, man, why aren't we doing this already? And so I'm going to leave another video, because I want this to upload sooner, and the longer the videos are, it takes longer to upload. So, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others, even if you don't understand why they do what they do. And the universe will help if you believe it. Spirit will help. God, whatever you want to call it, will help when you believe there's something that can be done. I believe something's going to be done that is the best for this animal, this person, this situation. And what will happen is all the resources and the ideas will start coming to you. You create a channel that is allowing for you to have the answers. And because this stuff happens for a reason. It teaches us to not be bystanders. It teaches us how to figure stuff out that are critical, how to treat emergencies, and it teaches us about compassion and empathy. And maybe, I don't know, I hope it'll teach this person something good, and it will teach his children something good, because this is not right. Okay, take care, and I'll see you next time. Be gentle with yourself.